sleep, and Seven's one of my favorite movies, and it's directed by Seven, so I got to finish watching it. So like how they made him watch all those cars, and I go, do you get insecure when you masturbate and shit? It's like they pull that type of shit on it, you know?
Right.
I mean, it's nothing like a car going in water or anything, like some cuckoo crazy. But what it is I'm being monitored 24/7 every day, just like the definition. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But how often do I get it, dude? It's usually when I'm in a bad mood, or if like, you know, when you go into that thought process where you like, it's not a thought process, when you zone out, kind of, that's when they hit me. When I'm in a bad mood or a sad mood, or like, you know, just like, you know, just like if I'm not in a good mood, they target me. It's like they're trying to control me to be like a robot, like happy. And if I'm not happy, then I get like a sad.
That's the. Yeah,
but,
man. You know what though? You know what though? I think that like there's different sections of the gang stalking program. I think they have because a lot of people go through it, but they never experience the levels you have. Like you've been experiencing some stuff way deeper. I mean, the stuff I'm experiencing is deep as fuck, but it's just way different than yours. You're dealing with electronic harassment to a fucking high degree that I've never dealt with before. And to me, that's like, I don't understand. Part of my complication on studying the electronic harassment is it's never happened to me to that degree. Like I've been hit with stuff, but I've never had voices trying to communicate with me. And so to me, I'm trying to figure out like why is it that they only do that to some people and not others? And
yeah, go ahead. Like I want to hear more. Like what you go ahead.
Yeah, why is it that it happens to you? And I know you're telling the truth, man. I'm not questioning you at all. I believe you 110% no matter what. But I'm just
like I'm not like I can tell you one thing, and I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not like a twerk. I'm being real to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I'm not psychotic or, you know, like I'm not like not like when I mean like a twerk, I'm not experiencing the shit she's experiencing. I'm experiencing like heavy electronic press. You know, wherever I go, like when I'm in Walmart, I pick it up. When anywhere I go, I pick it up. Not as heavy. It's very light. Like I went to the library the other day, right? And it was hella calm. I was like, okay, cool. I had a little bit of anxiety because I have agoraphobia, and everything was chill. But then all of a sudden, like I started hearing stuff like, oh, faggot, or like, it's just like shit that was communicating to me. You know what I mean? But it was light, like, so it was a library. It's silent, you know? It's just weird.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know that stuff's real. For my conspiracy research, man, when I was studying the 60s and 70s, especially in the area you're in Northern California, the fucking mind control stuff was heavy. And like I said, dude, they did a congressional hearing. The Central Intelligence Agency admitted to Congress that they had been experimenting with that technology since like the late 40s, but at the time that they were having the congressional hearing in the 70s, they said, yeah, we have it. Like, we perfected the technology, and it exists. And we went through, like, we've done experiments on people. We've targeted different types of people, you know. And this is MK Ultra, dude. This is like the voice of skull stuff. I mean, this is back in the 70s, they're admitting it. And they were admitting that they had it much earlier than that. It's just in the 70s, the Congress had them, and they admitted everything. And it's like a big thing, and it's all over. I mean, there's tons of YouTube videos where these people are talking about it in the congressional hearing, but in today's world, no one even talks about it. They're just like, whatever. And then if you bring it up, they all look at you like you're tripping out.
Yeah, exactly. So it has been exposed before. Like, is California like the highest place for like attacks or something? Because
I think so. I think the area you're in Northern California, especially like San Francisco and Oakland and stuff like that, I think it's high there, and I think the colleges and the clinics, the hospitals, the psychiatric clinics, and I think all those people work in cohesion together with the technology and with the strategies they use. I think they perfected it. Coming out of the 50s to I think by the 70s they had perfected it, and now it's just like it's like Deep Space Nine stuff. You know, it's like Star Trek stuff now.
It's pretty much like that, bro. Like, I'm picking up stuff that, if you were to describe that doctor, like, electronic harassment, like, 3 years ago or something, I would have laughed. I probably would have mocked somebody or something, like, or been a dick about it.
Right.
Like, how are you being attacked in your room? You got a lamp on, you got a TV, you got a comfortable bed for one, all this shit. And, like, I mean, this is the first time I've had a bed in 5 fucking years. All I have to do is turn my lamp on my TV, and I get harassed.
See, the public's at a disadvantage. They don't understand. They don't get what we're talking about, because for the first things first, like with the military, they'll tell you anything you see us using on the field of battle. We've had it for at least 20 years. Majority of the time, even more. But there's at least a 20-year waiting period. Same thing with the school books, like the school books at the colleges or the high schools. It takes 15 years for the leading information to even make it into the textbooks, man. So whatever people, like somebody's like, I got a PhD, I got a master's degree, they're going off the books. The books they got now, the information took at least 15 years, sometimes even longer than 15 years, but 15 years to make it to the books. The people behind the scenes that we're talking about that are into this technological voodoo stuff with MK Ultra, I mean, these people don't have to wait 15, 20 years. These people are on the leading edge 24/7. They're working on it 24/7. They're behind the scenes. They're deep off into the corporations doing this stuff, and they're hooked up with some shady people, man. It's some shady people. These people. Now, I'm gonna take it a step further. The gang stalking program is one thing, but I'm gonna take it a step further. Put the gang stalking program on the back burner for a minute, or put it out in left field for a minute. You have a whole network out there, man, of criminal organizations and people who I've met these people in person, man, in Hollywood. I beat a life-death thing right in Hollywood on this situation, doing my conspiracy research.
Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. Like, you explained that to me, but you explained it to me fast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I did a lot of.
You got shot at eventually.
No. Let me explain. I did a lot of years of conspiracy research, and then going back to 4 years ago, I started doing interviews, and then 2 years ago, I did some big interviews, and the interviews got a lot of views, thousands of views. The stuff I was talking about, I knew it was real, and I was talking about the 1960s and 70s, stuff having to do with the occult, serial killings, all different types of stuff, the Jonestown thing, the Manson family thing. Then I was talking about the connections to these things, how it's being orchestrated behind the scenes and all this stuff, and it's connected to the government. I'm out there saying this stuff, but the people who really did it, the secret societies, they're hearing me say it, and they're like, damn, we can't have this dude just running his mouth on the internet to all these people telling them our secrets. And so they get pissed. And I end up in a situation, I end up going to California, I end up going to Hollywood, and I meet somebody, another fellow researcher, and so while I'm meeting him, I'm being examined by the secret societies. They knew I was coming way beforehand, and they're sitting there watching me, and they're determining, do I have what it takes to bring down their level of deception regarding the topics I'm into. Some of the stuff had to do with mind control, but much more of the stuff had to do with the strategies that these people were using, having to do with stuff like Jonestown, the Manson family thing. I had pierced a level of deception, and they weren't really sure if I was going to be able to expose more of it. They knew I had all the cards. They knew I had a lot of the cards I needed, but they didn't know what I was capable of. And so they get me out there, and they're examining me and stuff. And I think they came to the conclusion that I wasn't really a threat to them in the sense that they believed, because they didn't look at me as an intellectual, because I'm on the internet talking about aliens. I'm on the internet talking about channeling. I'm on the internet talking about all kinds of stuff like ghosts and stuff. And so they didn't think that the public was going to be too susceptible to me. Like they knew I had what it took, because I already got their attention. And these were the people. One of the secret societies had put presidents in the White House more than once. Another one literally runs Hollywood, literally runs the motion picture industry. And so they got me out there, and then it was my silliness and my goofiness on the internet that truly saved me. And so what happened is they already had a set.
That's what
Let me finish. Right, check this out. They already had it set up. They already had the gunmen already there. They already had the people, the lookouts and everything. I mean, it was a big orchestration, man. Like nobody ever would have been able to put it together. And so they decided. I walked up to one of the guys who was like there, like calling the shots, and I looked at him. He was an older man. And I looked at him, and then he went back to his phone and said something over the phone. It was a code. And after he said the code, I felt the energy change. The energy was real heavy, then it went to a real light energy. Then he got in his car. He was outside. He went outside, got in his car, and he left. Then there was a few other people in the area that began leaving. But they were there. He was there to watch the whole thing go through and make sure I was dead. That's what that was about. And so but miraculously, at the time when he looked at me, he decided that they took everything into account. They took my silliness into account. They took into account that I wasn't on the internet running my mouth. I wasn't calling people on my cell phone telling them what was going on. I was just acting like a normal tourist in Hollywood. And they said, okay, this guy has a little bit of street smarts, but at the same time, he doesn't look like he's going to say too much. And so they let me go. And then after they let me go, I come back to Michigan and I start running my mouth about it and talking about it. And then I put together what happened. I put together how they tried to set me up and kill me. Then I started talking about that. So now they're really fucking pissed. Now they're like, not only is this motherfucker, not only is he running his mouth about the dude he did the interviews with and all this shit, but now he's seen us in person. Now he knows who we're connected. Now he knows our organization. He knows he's seen enough, and then he put together. So they're really fucking pissed, man. These people, they're pissed off. So then they put me in the gang stalking program. They're just like, fuck it, don't kill him. Put him in the gang stalking program, and they put me in the gang stalking program, and I go through a year of it. And the first thing that happened, okay, the first thing that happened in the gang stalking program was I didn't know I was being gang stalked. I thought it was still a hit coming, right? Right? And so I'm thinking like people are trying to kill me and stuff, but in reality it's gang stalking. And so then I go from that to hiding in my mother's house for a month in the wintertime. And then after that, I just go through months and months of gang stalking, man. It just goes on and on and on and on. And and then here I am now. I just grinded through it. I just grinded through it the best I could, man. And the stuff they used against me, they used a lot of different types of stuff against me. And it's just like, I mean, I don't even know, but I'm better now though. Like my life's so better. My life is better now than it was before though. So I don't know, I can't really complain.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, they realized you weren't a threat and they put you in the gang stalking program. You know what I mean? But like that's what I feel like. I don't know why I got put in the gang stalking program. I get more electronic harassment than I do street shows. Like I notice bums and stuff on bikes, like looking at me and stuff, and then like people riding bikes, and then people in cars will make weird smirks at me and shit. And like when I'm in line to get like burgers or something, I'll hear like somebody laugh through the phone, like when you're ordering food, after you order it, and then when I come home, I don't get any. If anything, I get street stalking. It's not like the perps doing that stuff. If anything, it's like they're monitoring like my move, see what move I'm in. They don't. You feel me? Like they don't say anything to me. They're nice, But like the thing is like, we're under construction, so I'm not getting out a lot. But like when I do get out, I do notice that they're, I know that I'm being stalked, like as in game stalking, but I'm not getting
Yeah, I don't care either, man. That's how I feel about it. Like, I'm at the point now. I don't care who watches me.
You know what it feels like to me? Like that's trippy. Like they found out like you how you explain like you were just a goofy, like you were just goofy about it, and like you kind of played some jokes. You weren't that serious about it, so they realized that you weren't that big of a target. It's like fuck it, just follow him and make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. That's probably what they were thinking for you, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they had everything in place. They had to call. They were going to do it anyway. They called it off. But the only reason they called it off is because they took into account that I had all the, I was silly, I was goofy. I'm talking about aliens, channeling. I'm talking about black extraterrestrials and stuff like that. And, I mean, they're just looking at me like, fuck it, let them go. Like, let's see what, he ain't going to say nothing. But they showed me, I met the secret societies, I met these people in person, they showed me a lot of stuff, man. They showed me enough to the point to where I could have said a lot more, but I didn't. Especially now, I learned my fucking lesson. If you know something about something like that, don't talk about it. Don't ever go on the internet about it. That's what I learned. It's one thing to do conspiracy research, but it's another thing to come in contact with those people in real life and run your mouth about it. It'll haunt you.
Right.
I'm serious.
Like the guy, dude, that's crazy. He's in Cali and he's not too far. You can't remember where around he's at. That he got ghosted. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's just kind of nuts.
He wasn't being gang stalked though. He was talking about some stuff that he encountered that a woman went through. He was there, and it was a woman and her family. And the woman and her family came home, and all their furniture in their house was rearranged and upside down, and the chairs were on the table in different ways, and the salt pepper shakers were stacked like people take the cards and make houses and stuff. Like, it was some straight up poltergeist voodoo stuff. It was like
some. He wasn't being gang stalked.
No, it wasn't happening to him. He was observing it happen to a woman and her family. But she wasn't being gang stalked either. I mean, not that we know of. She doesn't know why it happened. I'm not even sure if it was people who, I'm open-minded, man. It could be paranormal. It could be ghost. Or, some sort of entity. Stuff like that's real, man. Humans aren't the only intelligent creatures out there. There's other entities out there, and people laugh at that, man, but that's real. There's a lot of people who don't want to acknowledge it, but there is more to this planet than humans. I'll tell you, I know that for a fact. There's more to this planet than humans. Humans aren't the only, it doesn't stop with us. There's somebody else here. Now, and I'm not talking about, I'm not.
It's deeper, dude. So you think the lady was being gang stalked, or she just got ghosted for no reason?
She could have been. It could have been gang stalking, but the thing about it was it was too good though. It didn't look. Whoever did it, like with the gang stalking stuff, they don't do stuff like that usually. This woman, her whole house was like rearranged. Like, it would have took a lot of people. They would have had to do it really fast and with precision.
Right. So it was really like orchestrated to be like something like that, almost unhuman.
Yeah, maybe it was gang stalking. They want to scare her and make her think it wasn't human. Maybe they have a group of professional people in the program who do stuff like that, who are that good at doing stuff. Like, I doubt it though. I mean, I don't know. But the detective had seen it before though. When the police and detective showed up, the cop. The uniform cop, he had never seen nothing like that. He was spooked by it, but the detective was in a suit. The detective was like, "Oh, fuck this." The detective didn't want no part of it. The detective was like, "I'm straight," because the detective saw it. Hey man, the detective saw it, and he had seen it before somewhere else, and he knew he didn't want no part of it. Whatever it was, whatever his experience was with it before, he was just like, "Fuck that, I'm done." And he was like, "We'll get back to you on this." And I think he took some pictures of it. He took some pictures of it and told her, "Don't call us, we'll call you," and took off, and they never heard from him again. So it seems to me like maybe it was a cult. Maybe it was some sort of weird witchcraft cult or something like that. And he knew he couldn't really do nothing. You know, I mean, there's stuff like that out there. Or maybe it was some paranormal stuff. Maybe, you know, maybe they lived at Indian burial ground or something. And the detective, you know, maybe he knew there was something more to it. It was paranormal, and that he knew there was nothing he could do, and he was scared of it. He didn't want to fuck with it. And so...
Shit, dude. That's crazy. Like you said, don't call, like, you don't call us, we'll call you.
We'll call you, yeah. Now I'm on the internet helping people with gang stalking, but if I had a call like that where I went to somebody's house and I saw something like that, I'd just have to be like, we're gonna grind through it no matter what. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, I what do you do?
What do you? I know you just yeah. You know, like when I wake up, it honestly feels like I have to act like it's almost like a mosquito bite or something. It's just like an itch that I have to deal with, you know, like every morning I wake up and I almost pray, you know, like, you know, this is going to get better today and, you know, everything's going to be all right. But then, like, I'll wake up at 4:30 and I'll start, you know, pumping the weights, working out, and, like, push everything I can, you know, to be healthy, take exercise, you know, do everything right. And it's like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, boom. It's like the electronic harassment kicks in. And it's like, shit, like another day, man. You know, that you just have to go through it. You have to accept it because there's no way of turning it off. It just keeps coming, you know?
Right. Right, yeah.
So it almost feels like I don't want to say like a disease, but it almost feels like crap, dude. Like I'm stuck in a weird game that it's like, you know, sometimes it's a little funny, and, you know, other times it's like, you know, becomes a guy wearing red, but like, you know, there's you know, it gets to a point where it gets too surreal, you know?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It is that, man. It's like Groundhog Day. Remember that movie Groundhog with Bill Murray?
Bill Murray.
Groundhog Day? Where
Groundhog Day, yeah.
He wakes up and every day it's the same thing over and over and over again?
Yeah. No, I know that. And, you know, it also feels like, I mean, it's like the poltergeist mixed with, like, you know, the parts of the game that I've seen, you know? It's like they try to play tricks on you. Like, I got like, kind of grumpy, and I was upstairs the other night, and the neighbor next to me, I know I already said it, but, like, I'm like, man, turn your lights off. And as soon as I said that, boom, every light and every room shut off. You know? It's like, whoa, like, what a coincidence, you know?
What? You said shut your lights off and every light in every room went off? No, your
I just said it out loud. Like, man, like I just said, shut your lights off, and like all the lights in every single room went off, almost like they hit the power cord.
In your neighbor's house?
And the house just went black.
In your neighbor's house?
Yeah, and it happened like 3 seconds after I said it.
Damn.
Not just one room, the whole room was lit up, right? I'm like, man, turn your lights off or something. They were just bright or whatever. And I just basically said, turn your lights off. And then like 3 seconds later, boom, all the lights went off in the house.
Damn, that's some gang stalking right there for your ass, boy.
You think so?
That's some gang stalking right there. Hell yeah, you're going through some real shit right there.
It creeps me out, dude. Like at first I started laughing. I'm like, fuck, you know, this. Like I kind of started laughing, and I'm like, wait, like this is pretty serious shit, you know? Like I don't know. Like I just like, man, turn your lights off, like literally. And then 3 seconds later, it's like they hit the breaker or something on their house, and boom, every single light in the house went off. It's like I told them what to do, and they did it. You know, and it sounds crazy to a normal person, but I'm being fucked with, you know?
Dude, I think there's some sort of... I think you're going through gang stalking, but there's some sort of deep scientific weird group monitoring you from within the gang stalking, dude. And I think it's coming out of the psychiatric clinics and the colleges, dude. I think it's doctors.
Doctors.
I think you're dealing with some like quasi corporate medical stuff, and this is extremely high technology, and there's a reason why they targeted you. But it sounds like they're trying to hit you with everything they got, dude, because that's just crazy right there, man. I know you're telling the truth, but I'm just saying.
No, I swear, dude, I swear.
Oh, yeah, no, you ain't got. Yeah, you ain't got to swear. You ain't got to swear. I know what you're saying is real. My point being is they're hitting you, they're coming at you with everything they got, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, like, and that's just it. It's like, why are you targeting me, dude? Like, I'm not like an arsonist. I'm not a bad kid. I was a really good skateboarder. I lived in Costa Rica for a while, in a foreign country. I came back here, and I went to San Diego. I was living in SD for a while, and then I moved back to Sacktown, like where I belonged. And then all of a sudden, dude, one day, boom, like I just started feeling weird, Like I started picking up weird shit, like people following me, stalking me, like in this, I think this happened at the end of the end of 2015. So I think I've been going through this for over a year,
Yeah, you've been going. I think it has to do with your creativeness. Like I think they saw all that stuff you were doing online with talking about the crystal children and all that. What were you talking about? The indigo children?
The indigo children,
yeah. I think they saw. I'm sorry, man. I said the crystal children. I think they saw that. I think they saw that, and they saw you as a threat, man. They got pissed off. I think they targeted you. Because that's healing people. You're out there talking about children and healing people, and they picked you, man. They saw you doing that, and they saw you were skateboarding. And then when you started closing off and going, staying at the house more and more, that's when they just started hitting you.
Well, like I made that video out of passion. I made it out of passion. I made it out of indigo children, as in it's like they could control the world. And at the end of the video, it shows just worldwide, stars going around it, and then through the world, it shows a picture of two adults just holding their hands up wide, like they're everywhere. You know what I mean? And it has over 1 million something views.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a bunch of videos on Tool, and Tool's kind of like an occult band, certain people, or a lot of people are into them. But I did a bunch of videos on them, and I did it with a lot of passion. They weren't really that good of videos, but I did them. I put my heart into it, and then I don't know. I started getting these weird spiritual messages on stuff that I didn't understand. And when I looked it up, it was like symbols and shit. You know what I mean? And I had to erase some of the comments.
Paranormal shit.
And then, dude, somebody posted something on, the same video, right? And it didn't make sense. It was infrared, right? Or something weird like that. And I copied and pasted it, right? And I Googled it, and it turned out to be this perverted site for it had cartoon perverted, just I can't describe it to you. It's just really sick stuff.
Wow.
It was really weird spelling. And then I copied and pasted it and Googled it. I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Because sometimes I check it, and then I Googled it, and then it was this satanic, sexual shit, And I got a bunch of it on the video. I still get it, but I'm not online right now because my house is getting built from scratch. I don't have an internet connection right now.
Right.
But it was weird words. It would be INFAR, PEE or something. And then you would type it on Google, and it would be this ritual, satanic, perverted shit.
That stuff's real. Yeah. Those people, there's some tripped out stuff going on out there, man. There's people who they look for people. See, the thing about it is like people like me and you, we're connected to source energy. There's other people out there who aren't as connected to source energy, and so like people who are into all that weird stuff, that voodoo stuff, they come along and target those people and try to mess with them and live off their energy. You know, it's like parasitic.
Well, like what's going on with me, dude? Like it's not horrible, but they want to put me in the hospital. But they said I can walk out anytime. Like it's
right.
No panic. It's not like the nut ward. You know, well, not the. I don't want to say the nut ward. It's just it's not a hospital. It's an inpatient thing, like a halfway house where you can go and you can monitor, like get off your meds. You know, you can watch TV, and if you feel something weird or like, you know, they just want to know what's going on with you. You know.
Man, I tell those motherfuckers, look, if I want to stop taking drugs, I'll stop taking drugs when I want to. If I want to stop taking the medication, I don't need no damn inpatient. And everything I can do there, I can already do now. I can use my phone when I want to. I can do other stuff. I don't need to be put away nowhere to get off medication. That's what I tell them, man. If it was me, I tell those motherfuckers straight up, I ain't going nowhere. If I want to stop taking it, I'll stop taking it. I don't need you to sign me off. I'll just stop taking it. Like, what do I need to go? What do I need to be observed for? I'm a grown fucking man.
That's just it. Like, I can detox. Like, I can detox off this shit on myself. But the thing is, I may sweat and sleep for a while. But like, what they want to do is they want to watch me sweat and sleep for a while, and they also want to see, okay, like, you know, like what is affecting you. And you know, I told them that game stalking is affecting me. I said electronic harassment affected me on the phone to them, and I said, okay, well, you can come in, you can walk out anytime. It's no worries. Everybody can go out for smoke breaks. There's some chores to do, you know, around the place. It just seems real low. Like you can chill there.
Don't do. That's a trick, man. That's a trick. Because what you should tell them, can you give me?
But they have to watch you for 48 hours. That's a trick.
Man, you should tell them. You should say, okay, I told you my problem was electronic harassment and gang stalking. Can you give some information to me now that will be helpful about gang stalking and electronic harassment? Can you give that to me now before I go to the clinic? What are they going to say?
They're probably not a minute. Like the chief of police here won't even a minute.
See?
You know?
See what I'm saying, man? They're playing with you, man. They won't even admit. You're telling them what's going on with you. You're telling them you're going through electronic harassment, and you're telling them you're being gang stalked, and they're talking about putting you in a clinic, but they won't even admit to you that gang stalking and electronic harassment is real. I would tell them, I'd say, man, before I go to any fucking clinic or go anywhere, you know, you gotta admit, you gotta talk about what I'm talking about. Is this stuff real? If they can't admit it's real, I wouldn't go to none of their fucking clinics. Because if you go to their clinic and then you start talking about I'm being targeted harder and this and that, they're gonna say you're tripping out. It's not real. See what I'm saying? They won't admit to you. Don't go nowhere with those people, man. If they won't admit, if they will not acknowledge what's happening to you, don't go to no place, man.
Right.
Because once you go in there, they're not going to acknowledge it anyway. And then, you know what I mean? You can't trust them.
Well, that's just it. Like, I don't know them. They're supposed to be professionals and stuff, but the thing is, it's like, yeah, they're ready to take me in on Monday, you know, morning. And like, I'm down for it, but the thing is like, they didn't say they didn't admit to it, but like what they said was like, okay, you're experiencing gang stalking, electronic harassment, and they've heard of it before from what my therapist said. Caitlin said she heard of it before from the place that I'll be going, you know. And you can stay for 30 days, or you can stay for a week. It depends on how you feel. You know what I mean? And I have a feeling that this isn't going to go away. It's not schizophrenia. It's not anything like it's literally. I don't know the best way to describe it. It's like it's VTK. I think it's Yeah, but what I think it is, I don't think it's the paranormal stuff too much. I think it's more like technology people shouldn't have their hands on. You know what I mean? Well, but then again, it could be, you know,
That's
like
the people,
shit.
the place you're going to, that's the people who are behind it probably, man. The clinic that they're
Like,
off.
I just walked by, I got a guy just walked by and he had his fucking phone just like hanging out. He wasn't doing anything with it. It was just hanging out right where he walked by me, you know?
Yeah.
Just weird shit, like, you know, like those big iPhones, you know? Like a motherfucker just walked right, he's just still walking, I don't give a shit. And, you know, he's walking by and he has a big thing and it's kind of like pointed towards my way, you know? It's like, what is it? You know, like, what do you want? You know?
Were you outside?
Yeah, I'm outside by the streets, just kind of chilling, getting some air. Staying away from fucking the TV for a while and all that, you know?
Shit, they're not stupid.
I went to the library for some peace, bro. And, like, I went up there, and then I started hearing the words, like, faggot, like, and, like, my self-conscious thoughts and, like, stuff that you would not say out loud, but, you know, you're saying it to yourself, you know, in your mouth. And, right now, a few lights just went out in the house that I'm slipped by. But, yeah, you know, they said my inner thoughts, like, before I said them. Like, they knew what I was going to say before I even said the words, you know?
I don't trust those people, man. The people, your therapist and all that stuff. I don't trust that, dude. I think this is their. I think they're desperate to try to get a hold on you, to try to fuck you over, and put you back on all these medications. And I think they realize that they lost control, and you're independent now, and you're moving.
I'm more independent, a lot
and
more
you're moving,
independent.
and
I'm
you're
working now, man. I'm like,
because this is.
that, you know?
This is the same stuff they were trying to do before. Trying to trick you to go to a fucking hospital, dude. They've been trying to do this to you for a while. And they put something together. They ran some fucking game. They're running game on you, dude. And they want to get you in there, and then they're going to switch it around on you. And these people can do it. Doctors can do it. Doctors, these motherfuckers get you in there. They're going to say, well, he says he's hearing voices. He says he's being followed everywhere. He says this. In our opinion, this motherfucker's crazy. We're going to keep him, we're going to hold him over for another 30 days of observation.
Well, that's just it, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lose part of my, my last doctor is like, oh, we can give you brain shock therapy. And Kane's like, oh, you didn't like that, did you? And I'm like, what do you think, bitch? Like, are you serious? Do you think I'm really gonna go through with that? You know, and like, I feel like they're I don't know, dude. It's constant harassment, you know. Like just a few minutes ago, I just heard fuck, you know, and it came from the stupid party house, you know.
I'd tell those motherfuckers, look, I don't trust you. I'm not gonna allow you to enter my consciousness and fuck with my mind, and you won't even believe me about what I'm trying to. You won't even believe me. After
that's just the thing. Well, they won't believe me, dude, and I'm not going to be labeled as a schizophrenic because then you will be. I mean, I'm not trying to. There's nothing wrong with schizophrenia. I know it's a disease, and I know it's a sickness. But the thing is, you kind of lose a little bit of your liability of who you are. You know what I mean? Like you're looked at different. Like I feel like they want to get me in there and numb me up to a point where I'm not Steven anymore.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. That psychiatrist woman, all those people, they're trying to fuck you over, dog. They're trying to get you in there and get you to the point to where you're not going to be able to fend for yourself psychologically anymore. And then they're going to try to fuck up all your progress. You already fucking beat the program, man. You're trying to move on with your life and have a better life and do what you want to do. And they're trying to pull you back into that old stuff that you already got out of. I tell them, you won't even, you know, I say, Caitlin, you're not, I say, Caitlin, you know, whoever you are, you know, you don't have what it takes. I'm trying to think of the word, man. I tell her, you know, I can't depend on you for anything. The government already admitted gang stalking was real. There's countless people all over the world saying it's real. you know, and you won't even look into it and examine it. You're gonna say it's just paranoia. Like, what the fuck is that? And I tell the doctor, I say, man, you know, I'll stop taking drugs when I want to stop taking. If I want to quit, I'll quit. I don't need your approval. I don't need you to sign me off on no fucking piece of paper. That's, you know, I do what I want to do, and so that's what I would tell them, man. Tell them your body's a fucking. Tell them just like the Bible. Tell them your body's a temple.
See right now, but some guy just called me an addict. It's like, fuck you, mother. It's like, you know, I'm sorry for cussing, dude. Like, I'm being harassed. Like, I'm walking down the street, and I never go for walks or anything.
Right.
And, you know, some guy just like, he's like, you're addict. So, like, what do I do? Do I just ignore this shit to the best of my ability? Because the shit that they're doing in Cali, bro, like, from flipping chairs, they're like brain mapping my head. Like, it's literally, it's V2 freaking K, dude. Like, I mean, it's literally, they know everything about me. You know, personally, when I wake up, they harass me when I'm in the shower, when I go to the bathroom. I constantly hear, like, you know, a different voice from a man to a woman, you know?
Right. Well, I think what they're running on you, I think they're running some weird technological voodoo on you, dog. And it has to do with drugs and electronic equipment. I think they want to put you. I think they want to put you on those drugs. I think they're hitting you with a lot of electronical stuff, and it's not working because you already cut back on the drugs, and you become.
Dude, I cut back a lot, dude. Like,
yeah,
Monacan,
yeah,
all of it, man. I got off it. I lied, dude. I told him the syrup was making me sick and stuff. I was on like 12 pills, like 17 to 12 pills. Now I'm on like 6 pills a day, you know, and I'm doing fine.
You took control. You took.
I took matters in my hand.
Yeah, you took right. You let them know. My life is my life. Your part in my life is very small. I take what I want to take when I want to take it. If I need something from you, I'll let you know. And that's what you told them, and they don't like it. And now they want to put you under observation and mess with you and all that stuff. I say you're not. I don't trust. You're not telling. I don't need anybody examining my mind. I'm responsible for my own mind. That's not your responsibility. You pass out. That's what you do. Is you write me a prescription for drugs when I need some damn drugs. If I want to take some pill, if I want to take some medication or some pills, I'll come to you and let you know, and you write out the prescription. But I'm responsible for my own mind. That's not your responsibility. So get that on record now. That's what I tell them. If I was you, I wish they did that stuff. I wish they tried that stuff on me, man. I'd be snapping on them, boy. I'd be lighting their ass up. I wish they tried to play me like that. I let them know, man. I'm responsible for me. If I don't want to take nothing, I don't have to. I don't need to be observed by you. What's your observation going to get? I tell her, I say, you can't. I tell her and the doctor, I say, you're not even qualified to observe me because I've been telling you about the gang stalking, and you still don't see it. You still won't look into it. You still won't acknowledge it. For how long have you been telling them about it?
Yeah, they don't acknowledge it, dude. That's the biggest problem is they won't acknowledge, that it's real.
I tell them you're not.
I'm a nice guy, dude, and I come off very normal, and I'm getting out more. My anxiety's getting a lot better, and it's like they're hitting me even harder now because I'm doing shit. Like I'm leaving. Like I used to never go outside. I'd always go in the garage and smoke. Now I'm going outside. I'm swimming in my pool. I'm doing all kinds of stuff that like agoraphobics would never do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like agoraphobia, basically, you'll go into Walmart and you'll feel trapped and have a panic attack. Now I'll walk through Walmart, but like it's nothing, like I'm becoming like a man. It's almost like this program is hurting me, but at the same time, it's creating me to be fearless.
Yeah. That's what I told you. The first time we talked, I told you it would make you 110% better no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what, it'll make you 110% better.
110%, but like the electronic harassment, it's like sometimes like they're nice to me and stuff, like they're funny, and then other times when I'm in a bad mood, they're like, oh fuck you, you're gonna die, hate you. Everybody knows you. You're just a drug addict. You know.
Damn.
And that doesn't just come from voices like to my head. That comes from other people that say it out loud.
Damn. That's out cold.
Just now, bro. Like, you know, like 5 minutes ago, somebody's like, "You're just an addict."
Right.
You know, and it's like, I don't even know you. How do you know my personal business? And I'm not an addict. And nobody else is on the street but me. So you want to talk about it? And no, they just keep walking. You know. It makes me want to stand up for who I am. You know, I'm tired of it.
That's what I'm talking about. Now you're talking. Stand up.
Like right now, I'm walking, you know, and it's in the middle of the night, and I'm not getting any electronic harassment. But occasionally, I hear people say like, "Oh, fuck you, you're an addict." Like, it's almost like the street doesn't like me. You know, like not all neighbors. A lot of neighbors are chill. But like other neighbors, like I get like, you know, harassed by, you know. And it's like, whatever, you know, like there's nothing I can do about it, you know. I'm not going to go to jail over a fight. You know, I've been there and I've done that, and I know how that works.
Uh-huh.
You know. So, I mean, it helps going for walks and getting out, you know. And I used to go to like the AA meetings and NA meetings and stuff a long time ago when I had problems. And that helped a lot, like just spiritually and everything. Because I mean, all AA and NA was about, most of it was about God. It wasn't so much about the drug talks. I mean, it was, but it was more about God. You know.
Yeah.
And like by just walking, it almost feels like I'm connecting with something better. Like I'm escaping away from stuff. Even though I get street harassment from people, I still am not getting electronically harassed. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got a cousin named Steve. You know the one I was telling you about?
Yeah, that was he the racist one?
Yeah, he's racist as fuck. That motherfucker's crazy, man. He went to a mental institution. He always got in trouble with the law. And the jail was like, "We'll give you a choice. You can go to an institution." The lawyer put up the argument that it was something wrong with him. Now this is years ago. This is back in like the mid-70s. And so at that time, a lot of people would say that there was something wrong with them to get out of going to jail. And so this motherfucker's crazy. They put him in they sent him to the hospital, right? You know what he did?
What's that?
He beat up the nurse and escaped the hospital, man. He beat up the nurse. That motherfucker's like Michael Myers. He ain't no joke. He ain't no joke, dog. He beat up the nurse and escaped the hospital, man. I think he stole the doctor's clothes and everything. That motherfucker's crazy. He
beat up the doctors. He actually hit him.
I know he beat up the nurse. He whooped her ass. And managed to steal some doctor's clothing from the hospital and escape the motherfucking hospital, dog. That motherfucker's a beast. Then look what he did. His brother had a girl. Listen to this, dog. His brother had a beautiful girl from Florida visiting him, and she was rich. Her whole family was rich. I'm talking about rich, like millions of dollars. And she was visiting Steve's brother. Steve followed the girl. The girl left in the car. I don't know if she was going to the airport or whatever. She started going on the highway. You know, he followed her. You know, this motherfucker followed her, and I think he did rape her, or he tried to rape her. He followed her and started flashing the lights at her, just like gang stalking. He started flashing the lights at her, and she pulled over, and she's thinking like it's an emergency. Like, this is back when there was no cell phones. She pulls over. He walks up to her car door, opens the car door, and jumps in the car and starts fondling her, man.
He started what?
Fondling her, grabbing her breast and stuff. Yeah. He did that to a woman. Yeah. That motherfucker's out of his. That motherfucker's crazy, man. That motherfucker's crazy. But they were trying to put him on medication. The point of my story is, though, they were trying to put him on medication and put him away. That motherfucker beat up the nurse and escaped, though.
That's Michael Myers shit for right there.
That's Michael Myers. That motherfucker's crazy, man.
So how's he doing? Is he in jail still or what?
He's in the mental.
That's a serious crime. I mean, that's like a federal crime, pretty much.
That was back in the day. Last I heard, he was in a mental institution. He tried to kill him. He tried to jump off. Yeah, that's ironic, isn't it? He tried to jump off a building and kill himself, and I guess he broke his leg or something, and he went to the hospital. And when he got to the hospital, they ended up taking him to an institution. But that motherfucker, man, he might be out now. He might be back on the streets. I don't know. I know he's crazy as fuck.
Serious shit, dude.
Everybody's
He jumped in the car because the lights were flashing and he just grabbed her breast.
I think he might have raped her. If he didn't rape her, he tried to rape her. She never told the full story. She would never tell. Listen to this, dog. Listen to what this motherfucker used to do. He used to write letters. Listen to this, dog. He used to write letters to politicians, threatening them. And everybody in the family was scared the FBI was going to get involved. They were scared the FBI was going to come to the house and arrest him because he was writing politicians, man. He was writing people in Washington, D.C., threatening them. Then he was writing rock musicians, threatening famous rock and roll musicians. He was crazy, man. He went to the Marine Corps one time, and he made it all the way through to the last couple days, and he got kicked out. And he did that on purpose, I think, so he could have the skills of the Marine Corps without having to be in the Marine Corps.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't want to be in the Marine Corps. He just wanted to have the skills of a Marine. So he waited till right before graduation, got thrown out. That motherfucker's crazy.
That's insane, dude. Like I'm surprised he's even still like alive. I mean, somebody like that. I mean, they'll pretty much like execute your ass. I mean, if you're doing that shit. Yeah.
Shit, he was a peeping Tom and everything. He used to go to people's houses and stare at women naked through the windows and stuff.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he was crazy, man. He was crazy. Yup. That motherfucker's crazy. One time I
don't know what that would freak me the fuck out.
Yeah, one time my grandmother made some dandelion wine by hand. Like she made some hand wine, and he pissed in the wine. Pissed in the wine. He wanted he pissed in the wine, and then he went and told my mother and her friend that he did it, and so they went back and told on him, and luckily nobody drank the wine. But he pissed in the wine, hoping that everybody was he wanted to sit there and watch people drink his piss in the wine. He's crazy. He's crazy.
So, did they actually drink the wine?
No. He told my mother about it. My mother went back and told them, so they knew about it beforehand. So they poured the wine out. But had he not told my mother, they would have ended up drinking the wine.
Your mother ended up drinking it?
No, man. He pissed in the wine. And
yeah, and he told the mom.
And he told my mother about it. My mother is his cousin. He told my mother about it. And my mother went back and told everybody what happened so they would know what he did. So they wouldn't end up drinking it.
Yeah, that's insane.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Right. And so, but yeah, man. But be careful, them psychiatric units and stuff, man. That's where a lot of that stuff goes on at. With that mind control.
Yeah.
They turn motherfuckers into Manchurian candidates.
Well, it seems like California, has a bunch of weird stuff. I haven't seen cars with red dots blinking on top of their car when they're driving by, around the road, and it's the same car. I mean, just weird shit.
I told you about. Did I tell you about that one woman where she said there was a man in her hallway with a trench coat on and sunglasses.
Yeah.
And she had to walk past that, and he was a big guy, like 6 foot or something, with trench coat and sunglasses and a hat, like an old fashioned detective. And he was like Sherlock Holmes or somebody, and she had to walk past it. He didn't say anything. He just stood there staring at her.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You told me about that like it was like see-through glasses almost, you know.
Yeah.
What is the deal with people talking like loudly on the phone? Is that some kind of thing they do for you?
They like to use phones a lot.
What do they use them for? Like, do they just use text messages on what to do to people and stuff?
I think there's an application on the phone that tells them where the person they're supposed to be gang stalking is, and then I think they use the phone a lot to try to make you think it's supposed to intimidate you or something.
Right, because I see a lot of that.
I mean, see, the thing about me is the gang stalking thing don't really bother me, man. Like I've been exposed to the street. I was exposed to the streets a lot growing up, and so a lot of times when they're out in public and they're trying to do stuff, it don't really like. I just look at the people like, man, I know they're not going to do nothing to me, so I'm not worried about it. If they do if they do something, if the gang stalking program, if it was a case where somebody tried to do something to me, it wouldn't be no easy thing. They'd have to work hard for it, whoever it was.
Exactly. Like, you touch me or you do something, man. I mean, like, I don't want to start a fight, but I know how to handle it. I've been scrapping since I was like 12, and I'm not a hard ass. I'm not anything, but I mean, I've had a rough time growing up,
Right.
And I don't think a lot of these kids out here with these fancy phones and these people that make fun of you and stuff understand, like, what the 90s were like and shit, and like how, I grew up, in Sac, around fights all the time, continuation schools, I'm no badass, I'm no anything, dude, I'm just Steve, but, if you want to start a fight, man, I can gladly, I know how to defend myself, without a doubt, I don't want to, but I can,
Right, yeah.
So I see it, yeah.
Yeah, so I look at it the same way, man, and I don't know. I think the phones are there to agitate you. Like they want to make it seem like we're on the phone with somebody, we're telling somebody something about you, like, you know what I mean? Like it's supposed to raise your level of paranoia or something. I guess that's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it does. It's like it's almost like they're looking at the phone, or like they're more than texting, or like when they're talking, they talk like really loud, like they're screaming into the phone. It's like kind of awkward. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like and it's like it reminds me of a lot of videos that I've seen throughout YouTube too. That people have exposed, and it's like, wow, I'm going through this in real life, and I've been picked, chosen. I don't understand why. And as soon as I go back in the house, bro, I'm going to put on a movie or something, and I guarantee I'm going to get some kind of frequency. I hope not, knock on wood, but, right now I'm not getting any frequencies or attacks. I feel kind of really good. But, like, when I go inside, it's like, it's almost like haunted,
Mm-hmm.
It's not like haunted, it's just like it's just electricity. It's just harassment,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. The thing that the part of the thing that irritates me is a lot of the people they use are some punk motherfuckers, man. They use some punk motherfuckers. The people that are probably using this equipment on you are probably 10 times more scared of you than you are of them.
Yeah, probably. Because what do you think would happen to them if they got caught? You know what I mean?
Shit, you would probably look.
Probably scares them. They would be sent to a foreign country and tortured, probably.
I don't know, but if they're probably more afraid of what you would do to them if you caught them.
Well, that's just it. Like, I'm street smart, and I've been in. It's not something to be happy about anything, but I've been in confrontations my whole life. I've been around stuff that, normal kids get in, like, I almost don't want to get involved in a fight because it's like, I don't know what I'll do to your ass. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, like, not just an ass whooping, but like an ass whooping. You know what I mean? Because, like, I mean, I won't take this shit. Like, that guy online, you know, that was teaching people self-defense. It's like, that's cool and all, and, like, he's teaching people self-defense and stuff. But, like, with me, it's just like, bro, dude, I'll just go out on you. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not a fight. Like, with me, it's like, I know how to fight. That's the difference between me and your perps. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know how to throw down. Like, if I need to. I don't want to because I don't want to get in trouble with the law. I've been in trouble with the law off and on through my life. And, like, I mean, I don't want it anymore.
Hey.
But I mean, if I have to.
Sid Jackson was talking about. Sid Jackson was saying it's not if I'm gonna kill him, it's how. It's not if I can kill him, it's how I'm gonna kill him. Sid Jackson was. Yeah, Sid Jackson was saying, I'm gonna pull out a ice pick and puncture his a certain artery or something like that. Sid Jackson's a bad motherfucker, man. They see the gang stalk. I bet you there's some people out there that have gotten fucked up. Gang stalkers.
What do you mean?
I bet you there's some gang stalkers that have gotten their ass whooped before gang stalking the wrong person.
Oh no, without a doubt. Yeah, dude. I mean, dude. I mean, fuck. Yeah, I can't even imagine. You know?
Right.
Like, I mean, people in regular fights, let alone, dude, they get their ass whooped around here in Sacramento. They do, and like, everywhere they do, but in Sac they really do. And like, you know, yeah, dude, I can only imagine. And like with me, I'm down to fight. Like, I mean, you know, I'm muscular. You know, I'm like 5'7", but I weigh like 150. You know, 150, 160 going on, and I got, you know, big ass muscles. And like, I mean, I don't work out a lot, but I mean, I just got muscle tone. You know, and like I know how to fight, so it's like, you know, whatever happens, happens. I'm just not scared anymore. But I do have anxiety and agoraphobia. But I think the program's mad because I'm not isolating anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not scared. You're gonna whoop somebody's fucking ass. That's why.
You know, I'm down to throw down. Like, I'm down to throw like my fist, like as far as the fight patient. You know what I mean? Like really whoop your ass.
I've been hitting this jump rope about every day, man. I've been running now and stuff, and I'm getting light on my feet, and it's like I can run now fast. I can do like I feel like, man, like, you know, I can do 10 times more than what I used to be able to do. I can hop fences now. I can do anything now. You know.
Yeah, you're just getting hella strong. Yeah.
Right, not just strong, but fast though, man. Like speed. You know. Like the other day I was sprinting down the street, man. Like I'm running now, and you know what I'm saying, like my muscles in my legs, I'm getting stronger and stuff, and I'm trying to be out, like, you know, like I want to be able to get away from the program how I want to be able to get away from the program if I want to get away from it real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if you needed to, like you could help it, you know, you could get away from it.
I mean, they're gonna find you no matter what, no matter where you go, they're gonna find you. But if you just want to bust up and get away real quick, you know you can do it. You know, you can hit a couple fences and get through somebody's yard. You'll be out of there.
Exactly, and like, you know, in Kelly, the gang stalking here, man, it's really electronic harassment. You know, it seems that way, and like other people, like this one girl online that was in SAC too, had her kid get smacked in the mouth.
Damn. The program did that?
Yeah, the program did that, and she swung, and she manned up, dude, and she went and swung on a woman like twice her size over it.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, and she like whooped her ass.
I don't shit. Hell yeah. You know, see, I don't understand the gang stalking program in Cali, because I know in LA, man, those motherfucking gangs down there are scandalous as fuck. I don't know how they would be able to gang stalk someone else.
that's just it. Like, how I thought the Yankees were just like real good. You know what I'm talking about? And like they got up here in Sacramento too. But like, I wonder what they do. Like how you said, how people go around and pull out pistols and shit, and they, you know, it makes you wonder like why they do like crazy shit. Like, oh, I hear voices, and like, you know, saying, you know, there's a big shooting like that shit that happened in Miami, or like the people, the terrorists with cell phones up in San Bernardino in LA, you know, that showed up everybody. Like they couldn't access their cell phones, but they're willing to do this kind of shit to us. You know?
Especially in some of those Mexican neighborhoods, like over there in like City Terrace and Whittier and all that over in East LA, East Los Angeles. Those cities over there, those Mexican gangs and stuff. I don't know how they'd have to hire the police to do that. They'd have to have the police gang stalking out because those gangs over there are so damn vicious, man. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be over there. I wouldn't be over there gang stalking them like that.
Well, yeah, they're crazy, dude.
Right, them motherfuckers will be shooting at your car and everything. You'll be sitting there following them. They'll be sitting there with a fucking Uzi shooting at your car and shit.
Well, yeah, that's just it. They hire older people and they hire wiggers and stuff. Like I just seen one pass by, and like they hire like people that you know that you could just throw to the ground, and let alone if you targeted a real thug. It's like, man, like they hire like old people too, and it's like, man, you guys are gonna be shot up, you know, or you're gonna get your asses beat so hard you're gonna wish, you know, your mom never made you, you know.
I don't think they want nothing like that from you, man. I don't think they're targeting you to try to fight you. I think they're just trying to. They might try to get me aggravated. They had one time I was walking. This isn't where I live. This is over in a different area. But I'm walking to the liquor store, and they had some ugly looking mutant looking brown skinned. It was a black dude, and they had hired him he looked at me, and I'm like, "Are you all right, man? What's up?" And he keeps looking at me, so I walked up to him, and I'm like, you know, I'm like, what? He was saying like, "What's up?" I said, "What do you want to be up?" I was about to bust him in his goddamn mouth, and he backed up. He backed up away from me, and then another car pulled up, and then some fat white dude down the street got out and started walking around and shit. I'm like, man, this punk shit. I didn't know if it was gang stalking or what. I thought he was just looking at me like that just to be looking at me like that. I didn't know if he was gang stalking me or not. I was about to knock his motherfucking ass out in front of the liquor store.
No, that's crazy. But yeah, no, that's the type of shit that just crazy shit. Like I get that. Like I was just walking up the street like that, and then somebody called me an addict. And like I turn around and they're walking the other way, and it's like, yeah, you're a little fucking man. You know what I mean? And it's like, if I hear you, I don't care if you're behind the fence and you're talking shit about me, I'll hop your fence and we'll talk. You know? I mean, I'm tired of being gang stalked. And what it is, it's you need a gang. You can't do it yourself. And you're a gang stalker. All you do is stalk. And if you're gonna stalk me, dude, I'm gonna pull your shirt over your head and push you to the ground. You know, if you're following my ass.
Right.
You know, I mean, I look at it like real talk. I mean it with my heart. You know, and if I mean it with my heart, then shit's gonna go down. You know.
I wonder what they would do though. If you caught him at a stoplight and just pulled one of those motherfuckers out of the car real quick, just kicked and smashed his goddamn window and pulled him out of the car real quick. I wonder what the program would do. Would they have the police show up?
I don't think so. No. I mean, but then again, I was watching Matthew's video, and he passed this dude, and he's like, and the dude's like, I'm gonna kill 20 niggers. And
for real? Damn, he said that on TV?
Yeah, no, he said that in Matthew Roots, the target individual that lives by me, was filming it, and he's like, what did you just say? He's like, you said the program told you to do that. Huh? Who told you to say that? And he started looking around, grabbing his radio, and getting all scared. He's like, you know what? Like, other people that would have heard that shit would have knocked you the hell out.
Damn.
And he kept telling the guy, like, you know, show some respect. You know, he didn't hit him, but he's like, show some respect. He's like, you you want me to go to jail, don't you? You want to see a black guy go to jail. You know, it was messed up.
Damn.
It's on video on YouTube, bro. I mean, he's a cool dude. You know, and he's been doing this with this for, I think, I can't say how many years, but I mean, he's been doing it for longer than I have.
Right. Right. Yeah, this gang stalking stuff is crazy, man. To me, it feels more like Vice City, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, dude, it kind of does. Like, there's some sirens going on and all this shit, you know?
Right. Right.
Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you pick up during the day, dude? Because I get electronic harassment, and, like, I got somebody, like, right now that's just kind of just, like, loping out, you know, chilling. And it's just like, you know what? Like, you know, if you mimic my ass, dude, I'm coming towards you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you experience, but when I go in the house, I experience a lot of electronic harassment.
Just my neighbor, when I come inside the house, the most that'll happen is, like, they'll call my mother, they'll keep calling, like, they'll have somebody call my mother's cell phone a bunch of times to try to agitate me. Or they'll, like, if they see me by a window, they'll try to have a car come by the window or something to agitate me. One time they had a pizza man come here, and he came here, and he was like, "Don't leave," or something. Said something like, "There's a message for you," like, "Don't leave," or something. Does that mean anything? I said no, and so it's like they've done little stuff over time when I'm inside the house. But a lot of times I'd be looking out the windows, and when it first started happening, I'd be looking out the windows, and they'd have, like, all these different cars out there, man. They'd have, like, 20, 30 cars coming through my neighborhood when I was looking out the windows. Like, I'd keep looking out the windows, and they have, like, 10 cars out there. Like, they were supposed to be there for me. And so I thought this was, like, some sort of hit to try to kill me. And it was just a gangster.
Yeah, paranoid, yeah, I mean, that's paranoid. 10 cars parked by your house, but...
They use that damn lawnmower a lot. They have the dude that lived next to me, the homie, that have him out there using that lawnmower all the time and stuff. And then, like, in the wintertime, he had a shovel. And he'd be grinding his shovel against the ground to try to agitate me. And
right.
That's about it. I mean, they've had people, like, drive by my house and, you know, like, I mean, they had some people drive by my house to look at me and stuff like that. And I just look at them. Sometimes they'll wave, you know, they wave at me, I wave back at them. And, you know, I look at it like, you know, like, I look at it like they really can't do nothing to me. They use airplanes a lot. I live right next to an airport. If I go walking down the street in the daytime, they'll have an airplane go right when I'm walking. And I guess they think it's going to trip me out. I'm like, oh my God, they spent so much money on jet fuel just for me. I'm going to go crazy now. Like, I don't know if that's the thinking behind it. I don't know why they do a lot of stuff they do. Like, they'll use a helicopter or something, and it's just like, you know, at this point, I don't really care. I don't give a fuck. That's how I feel about it.
How do you feel? Yeah, so you get that during the day. Like, I get that kind of harassment, like, when I'm walking around, like I just heard right now, like, oh, he's a little skinny guy, like me. But it's like, I'm a skinny guy with muscle, motherfucker. Like, you don't understand. Like, I got muscle. My biceps are bigger than my fucking legs, you know?
Who said that? The voice to skull stuff?
It's voice to school and people saying it out loud. And it's like, you know, bring it the fuck on. Like, I'm not afraid of you. Like, I'll scrap with you. Like, I mean, you could be 250 or you could be 340 pounds. You could be a Samoan motherfucker. I'm going to come at you. You know?
Right.
But if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. What would you do to people that harass you on the street? Would you confront them, or would you just kind of hold the shoulder? Or, like, would you wait till the amendment kicked in where they touched you? Because, I mean, harassment's harassment.
Don't nobody.
If you harass me, I'm gonna play dad.
I never had anybody harass me on the street.
No.
I had a situation one time. I was walking, and this was in Phoenix, and they had two guys on the sidewalk blocking the sidewalk. I said, "Can I have a piece of the sidewalk?" And one of them moved, and I kept walking. And the other one said, after I got through, the other one said negative. And I said, "What?" He said, "Negative. You like you can't have, I said, well, I got through. He was like, you got through because he let you through. I didn't let you through. And I said, well, I got through, do something about it. And he turned and went about his business, and he didn't say nothing more. And so I went about my business. But I never had anybody like come up to me, like, what do you mean harass you? Like come up to you and start saying stuff to you?
Well, yeah, no, they don't come up to me like they do when they're walking away, like they're far away, like they're cowards, and or they'll say it on their little stoops, like when I'm walking past, like when I'm like sitting down, like like 4 or 5 houses down, I'll hear it. You know what I mean? And it's like,
oh
like,
yeah,
bro, I'm the only one out here in the street. You got to be talking about me. I'm the one with the tattoos and all that shit.
I had one situation where I was walking down a road and like there were some houses and I heard somebody yell, but I couldn't see the person. And then I was walking on the sidewalk one time and there was like some younger kids and they were yelling. And it was like, but they were young. They were like in 7th grade or something. And they were yelling back behind me. And, they were so far behind me. Didn't really mean anything to me. And so, but I never had anybody really like walk past me and say,
I'm psychotic? Did you say I'm psychotic? Motherfucker, I ain't no psychotic. Some motherfuckers just call me psychotic when they walk away.
For real just now?
Just now, bro, and they wouldn't even turn around. Like they thought the bro's psychotic. I'll whoop your fat ass, motherfucker. And they're turning the street. I almost want to follow their asses. You know what I mean? Like, fuck them. I think the program's mad because, I have anxiety and agoraphobia. But at the same time, dude, I got fucking muscle, dude. All this bad attitude.
Keep talking to them. You know how you just said something to him? They didn't think you were going to say anything back.
What do you mean?
They didn't think
you. Back to him?
They thought you weren't going to respond to it. They thought you were going to be like scared and not say anything.
No, I wasn't scared at all.
Right, but that's what they thought. They were trying to intimidate you.
Yeah, but they kept walking. They didn't turn around. They're just like, that guy's psychotic. It was like the fat, chubby guy. And it's like, what, fuck you. And there's people on the stoop right now. If they mimic me, I'm gonna run up on them.
Well, they know you're not for one thing, if you were truly psychotic, they wouldn't be out there saying that to you.
Well, yeah, they would. How do you mean? If I was really psychotic, man, if I saw somebody psychotic on the street, I would fucking stay. I wouldn't stay with them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they really believed you were psychotic, the gang stalker program would leave you alone.
Yeah.
They would say he's psychotic. What's the point in gang stalking him? They'd be scared of you. They wouldn't want to gang stalk you. They wouldn't want to follow you if you were psychotic.
Well, yeah, that's just it.
You end up shooting.
Right when I passed by, like the guys, they all started kind of like giggling. Like they're like, oh yeah, that guy's psychotic. It's like, man, I wish I could see like your face in the daylight to make sure you're not 17. Because I'll pull a Charles Manson on your ass or something.
Damn.
I'm not joking, dude. I'll do some like Freddy Krueger on your face, bro. Like, I don't care.
Terror behind his wildest dreams.
Goddammit. Terror behind their wildest dreams.
Right, terror behind his wildest dreams, huh?
Yeah, they're pussy.
Right.
They're gangs. What I've realized, and I analyzed it. Like I didn't really analyze it, but you're gang stalkers. You stalk. You don't do shit. Like you're pussy. You just stalk and you sit and you try and like get a giggle out of somebody or say something, or if you're man enough, you will say something, and it's just whatever, bro. Like words getting around town that's not true about me, like that I'm an arsonist or like child like crazy, it's just like people are just, I think it's the program, it's doing it.
Right. Of course it's the program doing it.
crazy how they get these young bucks, you know, coming around, you know, like, I mean, the fuckers look like they're fresh, like they're 20, they're 23, 20 years old, you know. And it's like, I mean, I'm sorry, dude, but I don't know if your mom's gave you a spanking, but I don't know if to show you what one's like.
You should get a security badge, right? A little security badge, and you should walk up to them. You should catch one of them doing it by themselves, one of the young ones, and just walk up to them like, man, what are you doing? I'm an undercover FBI agent. I'm out here working on a serious case. They hire you to throw me off the case? I'm going to take you into jail right now, motherfucker. Come on, what's your name? What's your ID? I start doing that to them. Scare the shit out of them.
Yeah, intimidate them. Be like, yeah, dude, I'm working against the fucking you know, fuck, you know.
Yeah, if I was you, I'd pull out a walkie-talkie and be like, we're calling the marshals in. We're taking him in. He's working for them. They're trying to throw us off this new murder case. And I scare the fuck out of him, man. I make him think he's going to prison forever. Man, tell me everything you know. Who paid you to do this? And you have a little fake security badge, and he'll tell you everything.
Well, that's it. Yeah, dude, like, don't even do that. Just like be like, walk up, like, who paid you to do this shit? You know, like Napier says that, like, who did this? I'm wondering what you guys are up to. What are you doing this for? You know, and he'll question him. And, you know, he used to be like, I mean, I don't want to go into it, but he had a rough past. And, you know, he broke through that past. And, you know, he questions him now. He's like, what are you doing? You know, every time he gets confronted, you know, he's like, what are you doing? You know? I mean, even his fucking dog calls him out sometimes. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, no, but yeah, you think the hospital's just a no-no, huh? Like that idea, huh? I mean, I think it is too, dude. I think it's like they want to help me. I feel like they want to help me, bro, but I feel like they want to, like, I don't know, like, I think they want to numb me, you know?
And of course.
Like, I mean, I know that they're not going to keep me in there and do, like, crazy stuff to me, like some haunted movie or something, but I know, bro, like, that they want to do, like, you know, like, let's get this guy back on Seroquel, let's get him on lithium, you know?
Yep.
Dumb me up enough so when I'm walking the street, I'm the one that looks crazy.
Yep. Of course. That's what they want to get you back in there and get you back on drugs and get them back in your system again and try to restart you all over again.
Yeah, no, that's what it feels like, you know? And it feels like there's people managing me right now on this, like, stoop over here. And it's like, man, if I hear you, bro, like, I'm going to drop this phone right now and there's going to be some action, you know? I mean, it's a weeknight, you know? I mean, a weekend. You know, I don't care how much liquid courage if you have any, man. I got the heart, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But like a lot of the time, you just turn the shoulders, right? You stop in front of them. Because like I got a lot of anger in me about these, like this shit. Like I've been chosen, like I've been, you know, in this program for no reason. Like they randomly came to me and they want to play a game with me. And it's like, if you want to play a game with me, let's play a real game. You know, let's run.
They hired some dude. I was running down the street the other day. I was speed running, and they hired some dude to come, like, pull the plants out of the corner of the streets. And, you know, I walked up on him and got close to where he was, just spit on the ground. Like, you know, like, and then he went over to the other side and started pulling up plants. And I walked up to him like, you know, what's up? How are you doing? But I said it. I walked up. I said, what's up? And he was like, hi, how are you doing? And like, he was just out there, and he didn't really say anything. And so I knew the program put him there, though. I was just taking inventory on him. I just wanted to get up close to him and take inventory on him to see, right? See what type of entity he is.
Yeah, see, I do that a lot with people. Like, I read them, and I can, sometimes, like, I hate to say it in a rude way, but sometimes I can read right through people. You know what I mean?
Right.
You ever have that sense, like, okay, this guy's this, or, you know, this guy's kind of scandalous, or has the phony, you know, like, I get that vibe a lot. Like, I read people, you know, I don't really size them up, but, Walmart, bro, like, I'm not rude. I'm a nice guy. And, like, I don't think everybody in there is a targeted individual. I mean, I don't think everybody in there is a person. But, like, I know they're in there, you know. But, like, at the same time, like, I have respect for human beings. I always will. And I have a lot of love, and I'll always have that. Don't ever take that from me. But, like, I mean, it just makes you question, you know, who's who, you know? Like, almost like Marco Polo type shit. You know? Yeah,
well,
it's like Vice City in a way, man. You just gotta be alert.
See, man, Steve, the thing about it is you've been beating the program, man. And you don't need them. You don't need those doctors anymore. You don't need those psychiatrists anymore, man. And they know it, and they're angry about it. They're trying to get. They're trying to get you back. They're trying to get you back in there, and evaluate you, and tell you there's something wrong with you, and try to get you on medication. You know, they're trying to. There's a trick up their sleeves.
Yeah, they're trying to. I think they're trying to, because I want to go. Like, they're trying to numb me. Like, and I feel like they want to numb my artisticness, my creativity. Like, I was one of the best skateboarders in Sacramento, you know, and you know that was it. You know, that I was one of the best skateboarders in Sacramento, and you know, and a lot of people know me that I don't even know that know me. You know what I mean, from skateboarding.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like I'm already like, what's the point of gang stalking me when I'm already gang stalking myself? You know, by the people that knew me from skateboarding. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it's already bothersome enough. I have agoraphobia, and everybody knows me from skateboarding. You know, like some of Jesse's friends are like, "Oh, weren't you hella good back in the '90s and shit, mid-'90s?" It's like, yeah, I was. And like, we'll start talking about it, and she's like, "It's old," you know. But you know, and then it comes like with random people sometimes, you know, at stores, but not rarely, you know. I ran into like the gas station a few times, and he's like, "Oh, you're a professional skateboarder. You were sponsored. You were like, you know, that's what's Steven smoking today." And it's like, "Well, what's in your business? I don't think this game stalking me. You just knew me from skateboarding." Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, what the fuck do you care what I smoke, dude? Like, I mean, I just skated, you know? Like, I don't know. In a way, they don't need to gang stalk me because I already got gang stalkers out there, you know? Well, I got people out there that know me, you know, that I don't even know.
Man, you're gonna get through it, man. If I was you, before tomorrow, don't go there, man. I mean, if you.
Yeah, it's the day after tomorrow, and what I'm trying to do now is just, I'm trying to walk around, and I'm just trying to enjoy my Saturday and Sunday, because I'm really thinking about going in or not going in, you know, I'm not sure what I want to do.
I mean, if you do go in, man, at least send me something, the address or something, man. So if I don't hear from you, I can at least, I can call them or something. You know what I mean? I might not be able to, get you out of there if they try to pull some tricky stuff, but at least I'll know what's going on, so I can, put something. You know what I mean? I can say something. I can, at least I know. I can try to do something for you, but.
But that would be cool, dude. I mean, you've talked to human right groups and stuff, and it's like, and all that shit. And like, it seems like that. I mean, like, I don't even have to speak and they know what I'm saying. And like, I've already said like my password online, like out loud. Like, I don't give a shit, but I check my page and like nothing's missing. It's like they want to keep it a conspiracy. It's like trippy,
Yeah, I think with you, they just want you back on the drugs, man. I don't think they really. I think they don't want you to be free of the drug. They want you psychologically.
Yeah, and like what you said, like, what do you think you need from the doctors? And to be honest to God, like, with my heart, I think that I need to be on. I think I need to be on just the clonazepam. I think that's the only thing I need for when I have panic attacks, just to take one. Yeah. That's it. You know? I mean, I don't think I need to be drugged up because the clonazepam doesn't drug me up. What it does is it just smells like, it's like a banjo. It just smells like vinegar cracks. But then again, I've been on it for 11 years. You know, and they've been upping the dose on it and shit. You know what I mean? On everything. They want to double up on everything. They said.
Hey man, I wonder if there's somebody in the military, like overseas somewhere, and his whole their whole unit is they're being gang stalked by their unit.
You think so?
Like, wouldn't that be fucked up if somebody was like fighting overseas, and while they're fighting in the war, they're being gang stalked by their unit?
That's really fucked. I'm sure it's happened.
That'd be. How deep does the program go though? Does it go that deep? Who knows?
I think it goes as deep. I mean, Tammy is a nice girl, and she was in the army. She was being stalked when she was there and when she was left.
Damn.
You know, when she was in the army, too, like guys were trying to hit up on her and touch her and shit. And she was being gang stalked in the military when she was in Afghanistan. And when she came home, it got worse. People tried to get her like to join. Like I'm not really sure. I'd have to rewatch what she said on one of her videos. To be honest with you. I just heard her phone and get interrupted. It's like, oh, I could see him.
Man,
that's tricky. That's tricky shit, bro.
That's like with your neighbor. That's like.
See him.
That's like with your neighbor. You were saying he was saying the stuff you were thinking.
Oh, there's 2 cars that you said, like, what's your password? Yeah.
For real?
For real, yeah.
There's a lot of new people. I just typed in gang stalking on YouTube. There's a lot of new people coming out saying they're being gang stalked.
There's a lot of new people.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm starting to see a lot more videos. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting back online and associating with targeted individuals because, yeah, I mean, it's blowing up online, you know?
It's blowing up, huh?
It's blowing up, dude. There's more, like, target individual shit than there is, you know, like, in videos herself. I mean, it's, like, starting to overcome ego and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just everywhere.
It doesn't really make sense, man. That there's this many people saying they're being gang stalked and nobody really knows anything about it. The doctors can't even admit it's real.
Well, yeah, and if they do, I think they'll be targeted themselves. They'll wake up and they'll feel like they have a stick in their ass or something. You know, who knows?
Like this guy, how I became a targeted individual gang stalking victim. My story, start of workplace mobbing, gang stalking. This guy's in South Africa being gang stalked. Gang stalking in Arizona. So you got people in South Africa making videos. You know it's getting bad when you got people in damn near third world countries saying they're being gang stalked.
Third world countries being gang stalked? Yeah.
People in fucking the jungles of Africa getting gang stalked.
That's fucking crazy if there's videos out there like that, you know? No, that's crazy, man, but it feels like, I don't know, dude, it feels like they're targeting me, like, really hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're trying to get you back on those drugs.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what they're trying to do, it's like numbing me, you know?
And they use children, they use elderly people and they use elderly people and children.
They use elderly people and children?
And children.
Yeah. That's crazy that they put children in there, you know?
They use them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's dangerous in a way to put kids involved in it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. Yeah. Like, why would you put kids in danger? You know, like, I'm not going to hurt a kid, but, like, other people will. You know, there's crazies out there.
Oh, yeah.
Especially people, I mean, I bet there's schizophrenics that are actually being gang stalked, and they're getting it so bad that they're just going completely nutty, you know? And
Damn!
Like, they're crazy.
I never thought about that. They got people who are already on the edge, crazy, and they're pushing them over the edge with the program.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, they're gang stalking, like, or, like, sick people, like schizophrenics, you know? And, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, man. I just think that's what they're doing. You know, I think, like, a lot of people that are schizophrenics are actually really smart people, you know? That's just, I mean, some of them don't know what's going on, and other times they do know what's going on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't know what to do about it. Like me, and then about something in the hospital, you know? Like, fuck that. Like, yeah, like right now I'm chilling on my like looking at my Kurt Cobain pictures and shit. I mean, I'm not being gang stalked at all. Like, I don't hear any electronic harassment or anything like that, you know? Which is good. I mean, I went for a little walk and shit. I think that's what I gotta start doing more, dude, is just get out and walk. It helps. Work out and walk. Go to the library, study, you know, learn new shit. Yeah. Because, like, I mean, I never graduated high school. Like, I mean, I got kicked out of continuation school for fighting. And, I got kicked out of the 12th grade. I mean, I finished pretty much where I got kicked out during the 12th grade. Kicked out of my band school, then I got kicked out of the continuation school. You know, so the principal to go fuck herself. You know, I mean, I was just some of the bad shit. Not anymore, though, you know.
I remember when I was younger, I used to smoke weed and stuff. And one time I was on probation. I had to go to this youth group thing, and like they would test us for weed and stuff all the time. And I'd be like, "There's nothing wrong with weed." And you know, at the time I'm like 13, 14, and I'm like rebellious and stuff. And they're like, marijuana is illegal. You can't smoke weed, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, well, you know, the government, you know, I'm like, just because the government says I can't smoke weed, I'm not supposed to be able to smoke weed. They're like, yeah, that's right. And looking back at it now, man, them motherfuckers are hypocritical as fuck. They're going to sit there and tell some 13 and 14-year-olds that smoking marijuana is wrong, but at the same time, look at all the stuff the government's doing with bringing drugs into the country and all the corruption and stuff. It's just this whole system, educational system and the law system, man, it's so fucking corrupt.
Which such as hell, like the war on drugs. I mean,
yeah.
That's killing more people than any like war we've ever had, without a doubt. You know, and it's killing people tonight right now.
Look at all the police. Look at all the police. Okay, like you got good people out there who want to become police officers, so they can save people's lives and help people. How many police officers have died during the war on drugs, not knowing that it's their own government bringing the drugs into the country?
Yeah, it's just good. I don't know.
How many families?
I mean, a lot of the cops around here are just waiting to write tickets and shit. You know, they're not even fighting the crime. And there's a lot of crime in Sacramento. You know.
They really don't want to fight it. Some of them do. The real cops are the ones that you.
There's cops out there without a doubt.
Yeah. There's cops out there who are for real about trying to stop crime and stop drugs, and they go out there and they put their life on the line. They end up getting killed, but the majority of them, you know, the way the system's set up is the real police officers don't get respected. They throw the real police officers off the force. A lot of them, the good ones, they'll tell them you can't work this case anymore, and the police officer or detective will be like, why can't I work the case? We're on the lead. We're about to bust the bad guys. No, you can't work the case anymore. Why can't I work it, Captain? Let me work the case. And they'll kick them off the force before they let them solve the case because the case is connected to corruption, maybe coming from the department.
Yeah, that's true, though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The like when you on, I'm telling you the truth, man. The criminals got more authority than the police.
Yeah, they probably do. You know, a lot of the police are in on the gang stalking. All of the police. I mean, this is petty shit. The gang stalking. You know, the outside gimmick. I mean, but the electronic harassment's another thing. But yeah, back to that, dude. The cops are like that. You know, it's like, you know, like the thugs have more control and things than the police. I mean, in Oakland, the police, there's only like, I don't know, a unit of like 20 police in all of Oakland because they're cut short.
Yeah.
Like it makes you wonder why are they cut short. You know?
They're cut short on purpose.
You think so?
Of course.
Because that's like the biggest crime area. They call that like Little Iraq, Oakland.
Yeah.
You know, but there's only like a unit of 20 or 30 guys, but they're badass dudes, man. They wear vests. You know, they go out like almost like army troops.
I mean, you
and
have
they do their jobs, and they're tough guys, and they're good guys. But there's only they're the cut unit. There's hardly any police. You know, and there's a burial every at the end of the weekend. There's always a new victim that's been killed. You know.
right, but it's a sad situation, man. Because the police gotta sit there and watch the criminals on the street basically do whatever the fuck they want to do, and the criminals got better guns than the police. Criminals got sawed up. Criminals got.
Untraceable, you know.
right, exactly. Criminals got sawed-off shotguns and Tech 9s and Uzis and stuff and Desert Eagles and 45 automatics and shit. Right. And you know, the street gangs, they be having bulletproof cars and shit and all this stuff.
No, really though, I know.
the gangs.
Bulletproof cars and like the cops are just driving. Yeah, that's what it's like. And it makes you wonder, like, why is it like that? If Oakland is like one of the biggest crime places in Cali, or like, you know, I mean, it's up there with like Compton and shit, but it's smaller, a lot smaller. But you know, why the fuck why is it cut so short?
Woo-hoo-hoo. And Compton really ain't no. I mean, Compton's a lot better now than what it used to be, but Compton ain't no goddamn joke, though, man. It used to be a lot. It's much better now. The police got a much better handle on it now, but back in the day, the gangs literally. I mean, the gangs still run Compton, but back in the day, the police wouldn't even go to a shooting until the shot stopped about 30, 45 minutes afterwards. So if there was I mean, and I'm talking about, this is probably majority at nighttime. At nighttime, if there was a shooting in Compton and the police were called, the police wouldn't show up until 30 to 45 minutes after the shooting stopped.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Because they know the police, the gangs would do drug deals in the middle of the street and have armed enforcement. You know, the gangs would have certain people with the guns and stuff protecting the product and all that. And the police just kind of like let them do, you know, the police were just kind of like, fuck it. Let them do what they got to do. They'll kill each other.
Exactly, and that's what it's like in Oakland, dude, and it's still like that, you know?
Right.
Like, they'll show up, but, like, you know, like 15, 20 minutes late. Like, a lot of the times in Oakland, they'll put glass on the ground when there's about to be a fight going on, you know, so if anybody comes by, they're going to run over and pop the fucking tires, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they'll break glass on the ground and shit. Like, and then they'll make a war zone out of it, so if anybody comes by, a cop or anything, their tires are going to get caught, you know?
And the people out there are on drugs and crazy.
Yeah, now I'm drugs and crazy, and
they take
11-year-olds
Oh, Killuminati?
Yeah. Like, what do you think that's about?
I don't know. Tupac was a mysterious guy, man. I think the Killuminati thing, that was the last album. It came out a little bit after they said he died. And when it was Killuminati, a 7-Day Theory. And in one of the songs, he was just talking about a snitch named Haitian Jack. And basically, when Tupac got set up for that sexual harassment case, one of the guys who were there when it happened was a guy who had been involved in multiple cases like that. He was basically an undercover federal agent who personalized and setting up people up. And Tupac was talking about that on one of the songs. And he called the guy a snitch named Haitian Jack. Now he's basically saying, Tupac was basically saying he was set up by undercovers in a fake case about raping that girl. Then when he went to prison, he got out on appeal. Tupac was in prison, sentenced, but Suge Knight and Death Row Records got him out on appeal. Now, to get out on appeal while you're already in prison is very hard. They don't just let people walk out of the penitentiary on appeal. That you got to have some really good lawyers. You know that stuff only mobsters really do. If you're not a mobster, you really can't do that. And so he gets out on appeal, and now this is back when Death Row was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They were a subsidiary of Interscope with Jimmy Iovine and all them. I mean, this was big money. This is back in the 90s. And so he goes to Death Row, and he's only on Death Row Records for a matter of months. He releases the All Eyes on Me. That skyrocket. Everybody had that album, man. When All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me, yeah, dude, that blew up and made so much money.
When, at that time, in the rap game, everybody had a copy of that. And so, in my personal feeling, I think Tupac did not die. I think that was all staged and set up because he didn't want to go back to prison.
Because he didn't want to go back to prison?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
He's out on appeal, and they're trying to put him back in prison, and he knows if he goes back to prison, they might be able to kill him and stuff. I think he made a deal under the table with the government.
I just got flipped off.
Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, it's alright, man. Like some car just drove by and the guy just put the middle finger up. Yeah. I'm not gonna worry about it. But like, why are they doing this to me? Like, why do they hate me? You know, like, what did I do? You know?
Nobody hates you, man. It's just a program.
It's just a program. Yeah.
You've been targeted by the program. You've been targeted. The people behind the program see you as a threat. They don't hate you. They just see you as a threat. And so the program's goal is to keep you disconnected from yourself, to keep you from being that threat.
Yeah, but I'm not a threat, bro. Like, I mean,
You're a threat to them in some way. You're a threat to somebody.
I don't know what I did. Was it the videos I made? Was it me skateboarding? You know? I don't know.
They're scared of you, man.
They're scared of me. Yeah.
They don't like people who can think for themselves. You obviously think for yourself, and that's scary to them.
Well, yeah, I do. Yeah, man. Absolutely, I think for myself, dude. I mean, I got hurt. I'm not gonna let them say that. They can if it's possible. It's hard. You know. But like, why would you drive by in the middle of the night and then like right when you go by, just give me the middle finger? You know.
They do stuff like that, man.
And like when I was walking outside, I heard like the neighbor or saying like whatever, like, oh, he's going outside. You know, like right before I opened the door, and I didn't say anything deep about it, but I could do it because I didn't give a shit. I walked outside, and all these cars started passing by. One car passed by and slipped me off. And I mean, it's just a normal neighborhood. It's just chill, nice people, supposedly. But yeah, this shit's crazy. Just ignore it, huh? So.
Yeah. You just gotta let it go, man. They're not. It's not the personal, man. See, I think they're targeting you harder right now, so you'll run to the clinic.
So I don't go to the clinic?
So you do go to the clinic.
Oh, so I do.
It's a strategy. They're trying to scare you. They're trying to intimidate you so much that you'll be like, "Oh, fuck this! I need some drugs," and you'll go to the clinic to try to escape it.
So do you think they want me at the clinic, or they want me to stay here so they can fuck?
No, they're trying to scare you into going to the clinic, man. They're trying to make you feel like you're losing your mind, so you'll go to the clinic.
Right.
Basically, it's a form of extortion. I tell them,
it's a conspiracy too, so you're out to get fried for that shit. You know.
I tell those motherfuckers to fuck off. It was me.
Well, yeah, if I see a car roll by and they flip me off, yeah, I'm telling
No,
stuff like one guy said like, oh, he's a psycho or he's a schizo or something like that when they're walking by, and they walk by slowly and they walk on the other side of the street, you know, around my car, and said it, and I'm like, what? And I confronted them, and the motherfuckers won't even turn their back and look at me. It's
Shit,
like, what kind? Are you a man or are you a girl? Like, do you keep your panties on? What's up? You know. It's like Vice City, bro. Like you said, like, you constantly, you know. Like,
If I was you, I'd start trying to get some money off that stuff, man. I'd tell the motherfuckers at the clinic, you know, or not the clinic, but I'd be trying to get some money from it. I'd be trying to, if I was you, I'd go to the government, tell them you need some money, man. Tell them you got issues.
Tell them I got issues, like, just go to the government, like, about it. Just be like, fuck.
Try to get some money from them, man. Tell them you need some money. You got issues. Try to see if you can.
Go to the government and say, like, I have issues and I need money.
Yeah.
Would they do that?
They might. I'd tell the motherfuckers, be like,
I'm being harassed, dude. I deserve a Purple Heart as far as I'm concerned.
For real? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like I deserve, like, I mean, a crown, like, and like a great home to live in after all the shit I've been through, and
I feel you. I feel you. That's where I'm coming from.
The pain's deep, dude. It's like it's annoying, you know.
It's deep, boy. They don't know about that deep pain. Huh.
No, they don't, dude. They don't know.
I did experience what you experienced where you were talking about you heard loud thumping, like Sasquatch thumping.
Thumping? Yeah.
I woke up, it sounded like somebody was dropping gigantic rocks on the ground or something.
It's crazy. That's paranormal shit.
It was a vibration too. I could feel it. It was like boom, boom.
That's what I had happen when I was laying on the floor with my headache. I heard a quick walk. Like, thump, 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 thump. Like somebody was walking in my house, but my mom was dead asleep.
No, this wasn't quick. This sounded like a damn earthquake, man.
It sounded like what?
An earthquake.
An earthquake?
Yeah. Paranormal shit for real.
Do you think your mom's still into it? Like the game fucking at all, or you just don't care?
They pay her to do stuff. Like, she has to pull out of the house. When I come home sometimes, she'll pull out of the house and stuff. She does little stuff. They managed to get her on the payroll, but it's all good. But I live at her house. I don't pay any bills here.
Right.
I mean, I owe her, so I look at it like I'm helping.
Yeah, you're helping the situation.
Yeah, I guess, man. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense out of it, you know? Like you said with your dad, how the construction crew, how you were helping build the house, and they were saying, just shut the fuck up, don't say anything about it, you know?
That's what I said. Like, no game. Like, no, like, you know, I said at home, like, no games. Like, I was just pissed because I can't even do it right now. Like, you know what I mean? I just told them off, like, no game. No game, so hey, my battery's about to die. Are you there?
Yeah. Well, hit me up tomorrow, bro. Call me before you go. If you're gonna end up going, at least call me and talk to me before you go, so I know what's up.
Well, yeah, I can bring my cell phone there, but yeah, I'll let you know like ahead of time because I may not go. So just like let me know, bro. And if you could, my phone's about to charge. I don't know if anybody has to shut it down, but do you know my website page? Because I have no computer access.
Tell me, your YouTube page?
Yeah, do you know it?
No, I subscribe to you. What, you want me to look it up real quick?
Yeah, if you could, and see if it's still up. Because, like, I think, like, they're like, what's your password, and that kind of shit, you know?
Hold up.
Like, what's up?
Hold up, I'm gonna find it. Hold up. It's I'm on it right now.
Okay, cool.
YouTube.com/user/Steven Webb W-E. It's Steven, then W-E-B-B W-E-B-B-W.
Yeah, that's me. It's Steven Webb.
Damn, bro, you got almost 2 million views.
Do it?
Yep.
That's crazy, man. So it's still up then, right?
Yep, it's still up.
Alright, because I'm gonna plan on making videos, you know, like when I get hooked up, you know?
Right. Well, alright, bro, just hit me up tomorrow, man.
Alright, well, yeah, no, thanks for talking, bro. I appreciate it. It's like a lot to listen to.
Oh yeah, you know how we do it, man. Anytime.
Alright, bro. Well, yeah, have a good night, man. And be safe, bro.
Yeah, you too, bro. Alright.
Alright.